As a pastor, I want to give you the flags that come to mind when I see marketing for books like 18 Days in Heaven.
God, I pray you put this video in front of someone who's struggling with their faith.
This was really off-putting to me because it's very clearly a private prayer between him and God. And not only did he take time to pull his phone out to record it, but then he edited it, put it at the front of his ad.
They feel like they're all over the place and they want to encounter the real Jesus, not some cheap, manipulated version that religion has sold to them.
This is very fortune teller-esque feeling, like cast a net as broad as possible. So when he says, this is for those who feel like they're all over the place, well, who isn't, right? But red flags go off like crazy when he says he has the real Jesus. Number one, because we actually have access to the real Jesus through the apostolic word that's been left to us in the Old and New Testament. Secondly, he puts himself in the place as the hero over and against those who would sell Jesus to you. Meanwhile, all of this is to sell copies of his book. Like, if you wanted to get away from selling Jesus, why not give this away?
I was the one he left the 99 for. My name was written on his wounds.
So I'm glad to see some gospel language there, but that's not anything new. Like, that's stuff that we already have access to in the New Testament.
In this book, 18 Days in Heaven, I didn't just detail it as a location, but heaven was a person and his name was Jesus.
So in the back of my mind, when somebody uses visions to try to market a book or even claim authority over somebody else, I'm thinking of Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and in Colossians 2, who, when he had visions, he tried to distance himself from those visions as much as possible because he didn't think that you or I or the church needed what he had in those visions.
I saw all my friends and family praying over me on earth from heaven's perspective, and I detailed the key to answered prayer.
In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus already taught his disciples how to pray. In John 15, he told us how prayer glorifies God. I don't get the point.
All the colors and songs in heaven, they just point to Christ, and his personality and his appearance is nothing like you would expect. I wrote about how I could never be rejected by my own failures or what people said of me because I am accepted by his love. I found the end of myself and the start of him, and his love was unconditional. I was so precious to him. It was like he waited his entire life just for me.
If you go to Isaiah 6 or the book of Revelation, when they gaze into the throne room, they're never focused on their worth. Instead, they're falling to the ground, captivated by the transcendence and holiness of God, that they would never treat it so lightly as to say, yeah, I went to heaven and it was all about God's love of me. No, it's about the grandeur of our Creator. So when I just see stuff like this, it just sounds so different than from what we have in Scripture. And I just don't think any of you need this. As John Owen said, if private revelations agree with Scripture, they're needless, and if they disagree, well, they're false.